It's fascinating. This past May, the stock closed at 90 bucks. They reported earnings. It cratered. They mentioned AI. A month later, the stock was trading $125, $130. We have round-tripped that move pretty much back to 90 bucks. I don't think now's the time to be selling AMD, though. The guide is disappointing, yes, and margins came in a little bit slightly less than expected. 22%, I think, a year ago was 22.7. But this is one of those stocks that when it looks the worst is when you have to start layering in, as opposed to when it looked great in the middle of the summer when everybody was piling in. You got to sort of zig when people zag in the stock, and now's the time to buy it, not sell it.
Karen, thoughts?
I agree. I actually have a small position in AMD. I think I wouldn't be selling it on this. I don't know if I really want to hear the call, and I'll hear that later, but because I think we'll get some nuance, right? If I were CEO of a company in this space right now, I would be a little bit, conservative in my guidance. Why not? Right? Turns out great. Good. So I really want to hear what she has to say. I think it wasn't shocking. I don't think this is a giant quarter that tells the story of AMD going forward.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, we were talking about what they're going to say in the call about this new graphics chip. I mean, at the end of the day, they gave their guidance. It's down, 4.5% from consensus. Stock's down 4.5%. That's the way it used to work on Wall Street a little bit. And if you think about what's embedded in Q4, they can say whatever they want about this chip. If they're going to be competing with Nvidia, they're going to be competing on price. Okay, like that's how they're going to gain share back. They're so delayed. So to me, I don't think this is going to be a huge ramp because it's going to be a chip that's, all the reviews, it's not going to be what these H100 is by Nvidia, and if they're going to get that share back, it's going to be on price. So at the end of the day, they might be being like a bit conservative, but at the end of the day, like they're behind the eight ball here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bode well for Nvidia either, to be frank. Well,
are they going to compete here? Or
well, part of the disappointment on the 4Q is not just demand; it's on margin. And again, if they're competing, it's a question of how much they're going to have to compete. I also think that there is some hangover even from some of the programmable chips and some of the things that even Intel, I know you should not be comparing AMD to Intel, but at least, in terms of some of those core segments, what is going on with CapEx and CapEx spend? And we heard a little bit from Meta. We've heard it from other people. I mean, that's going to be important to the tone here for the broader sector. And so I agree with those that have said AMD is not the one you want to count out. In fact, I think weakness is to be bought. I don't know that weakness needs to be bought tomorrow. And I think there's a lot going on right now in terms of the cyclicality and what we've priced in. And we're going to hear a lot more about this great chip.
We've got Christina with a little bit more color and detail off the conference call. Christina?
Yeah, that's because I actually have the transcription of what she's going to say, so maybe I'm just front-running it right now, but it was in my email, so I could go with it. She's going to say that we now expect data center GPU revenue to be approximately $400 million in the fourth quarter and exceed $2 billion in 2024 as revenue ramps. The line that stands out is, quote, this growth would make the MI300 the fastest product to ramp to $1 billion in sales in AMD history. That's all they provided for the numbers, but pretty strong statement.
But that's a strong endorsement of that product. That's fast growth.
Right? Well, and again, part of what we've already heard from the company is you should be expecting some material amount of sales in the fourth quarter. And that's why at least the early so far has been some disappointment that it wasn't more impressive. We're going to wait and hear it all.
I'd also add that the article in the Wall Street Journal today about Nvidia having $5 billion of orders from China for these, competitive chips. If they are not able to go through, then what might we have like an inventory situation? Is there enough demand?
Where they're stuck with those chips?
I'm just saying that in general, they're going to have to sell them in the West.
It depends. If you think their supply-demand dynamic is right now in...
China has been such a huge driver of all this demand this year. I mean, like the double and triple ordering, and this might be demand that maybe the Chinese didn't even need. You know what I mean? This is orders for next year. They're talking about $5 billion, and so these new guidelines are putting tighter curbs on it. We know that these guys did some workarounds. This is Nvidia, and listen, this is just setting up for this sort of thing. There's also an article in the Wall Street Journal today, in the CIO Journal, how companies or enterprise buyers of tech are debating what is the commercialization of some of these products right now. They've all just moved in so quickly and just been buying whatever it is, whether it's compute, whether it's cloud storage, whether it's chips, that sort of thing. So who knows what's going to happen here, and we know that today or tomorrow, I guess, Microsoft's going to start selling this Copilot 365, and we might get some indications here. But I think at the end of the day, if we know that some of these companies are already starting to cut costs as headcount, they're going to probably start rationalizing spend a little bit too on some of this other stuff.
The question is, are you buying AMD for AI and for this chip, or are you buying them for some of the dynamics that have made them eat everybody else's lunch where they are competing? And so are you bummed out that they've talked about weakness in gaming gaming in 4Q. I mean, so these are the things you're sorting through on these numbers, because I think there are some headlines that aren't great for the cyclicality of some parts of their business that have been very important. I don't think that's why people are owning it here. But again, that's why I think you have some time before you have to make this decision tomorrow.